Hello and welcome back to my channel. In this video today, I'm going to talk about the Hot Cross Bun model. Now, the Hot Cross Bun model is used in psychology to, help people to understand the connection between thoughts, emotions, the physical body, and behavior. Now, I love using this model with my patients and clients because it really helps them to see that change is not just physical, but a mental shift in emotions and behavior. So ultimately, it's a whole systems approach because, the mind and body are connected when it comes to change. Thoughts lead to an emotion. Emotions lead to a physical sensation in the body, and that sensation can predict whether a person is going to engage in a behavior or not. Now, as you can see from the Hot Cross Bun model, there are 4 parts to this model: thoughts, emotions, physical sensations, and behavior. And all of these interact when it comes to engaging in something new. Now, when we think about this model, I always kind of like to help people understand how their thoughts create an emotion. So let me give you an example. Now, if the example here I'm going to use is, I can't do this, and if I'm repeatedly saying that to myself, or this is the thought that I am kind of saying over and over to myself, this, I can't do this, what's going to happen is that it's going to create an emotion. And that emotion could be fear, it could be anger, it could be sadness. It just depends on the individual and how they process that thought. Now, what happens then is that the body starts to interpret these emotions and these thoughts, and it can show up in many ways. For one person, it could be tension. So it could be those sort of tense shoulders. It could be those legs or arms that might start to tense up. And it could lead to, fatigue, physically kind of freezing and feeling overwhelmed by these thoughts and emotions. And then what can happen in terms of the behavior is that that person, is highly kind of likely not to engage in that behavior. And that's because these first 3 things have interacted so powerfully that it's put that person off from actually moving forwards with their goal. So the next time you're trying to do something new, I would urge you to really have a think about those thoughts, really think about, what is my mind saying to me about this? And actually, is this helpful? And what's the purpose of this thought? And be aware that actually sometimes these thoughts arise because they're trying to keep you safe. And there's that level of uncertainty that's there because you're trying to do something new, that it's trying to say to you, are you sure about this? But actually, if this is something you want to do, take baby steps. Because by doing baby steps and sort of, setting small, manageable goals, you will feel more confident and you'll find it easier to engage in that behavior. But what you'll also find is that the responses between the thoughts, emotions, behavior, and that physical sensation in the body are not as overwhelming, because actually, you're saying to yourself, I'm going to give this a go, and I'm going to do this by just kind of engaging in this for 5 minutes. And that way, your body is going to be much calmer, less overwhelmed, less stressed, which means that physical sensations are not going to be as heightened. And it's going to mean that you're more likely to engage in that behavior. So I hope you found this video useful. If you haven't already, then please hit the subscribe button. And thank you very much for watching.